Home Media.
Hello and welcome to episode 43 of the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm Ricky Chabruggi, and joining me tonight again, Derek Relaford. How's things going down there in Arizona?
Pretty good. How are you doing? A little warmer than you all are.
Freezing my tail off. How's that? How's that sum it up for you?
Sounds about right. I've seen Facebook. It's pretty white today.
Yeah, the temperature here, I think I told you, was like 12, but it felt like minus something or other. And I'm
We just lost your microphone, buddy. I can't hear you. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ricky's microphone is missing. Hey, while you're figuring that out, I'm gonna play our located deceased reel while Ricky's trying to figure his microphone out. Everybody. So that we've been doing the show tonight is episode 43. 43 episodes. We have covered a lot of cases. Every week or every 2 weeks, we try to run an episode, a short video for you called "Located Safe." We've come across some people who were found deceased while doing this show, and we hate that. We hate that happens, and we wish we could bring everybody home. But I'm going to show you our quick located deceased real quick. Then we are going to get into our show. So please, if you could, just a moment of silence and pay the respects to those who we could not bring home, unfortunately. And we are back. Ricky, I think you're still muted, buddy. Yeah, you're muted. Why don't you unplug your mic? There we go. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, now I can hear you.
Sorry about that.
The show's a lot better with you on it, buddy. Don't do that to me ever again.
Now, as I was saying before I so unexpectedly knocked myself out, it's a whopping 10 degrees and it feels like a whopping 5 below zero wind chill.
Maybe the wind chill is what knocked your mic out. We got a lot of hellos in the room. By the way, tell us where you're watching from, what city.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Lisa says hello.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Michael.
Wyoming needs to take the snow back. Connie says hello. Amanda says hello.
Hey, Amanda. Hey,
Christy says hello. No snow here. Alicia says hello. Austin says, I can hear Derek, but not Ricky. Prayers for the families. Yes, that was our located deceased reel.
Yeah.
We don't like doing that, but we do want to pay our respects to those that we couldn't help bring home. Sometimes that happens in this business,
Yeah, and that was the ones that span the length that the show's been running from. So
we got Wichita in the house. We got Junction City in the house.
Galesburg,
Illinois is awesome.
Is that Great Bend, Kansas in the house. It was supposed to be Galesburg by chance.
Is that the name of it, or is it Galesburg? We got Great Bend in the house. We got White City, Kansas. We got Burlington, Kansas, Manhattan. Says 10
Mhm.
degrees with a -6 wind chill. Wow.
Definitely
Newton's in
freaking
the
cold.
house. Arc City's in the house. Junction City's coming in tonight. Carbondale, Newton. They're coming from everywhere, Ricky. They're
That's
here to
awesome.
help us find some people, man.
That's awesome.
I'm glad I shaved most of my beard off for this. I look more presentable. I gained 15 pounds when I shaved my beard.
Yeah, she said
Galsburg.
it is Galesburg.
That's nice.
Hopefully, they don't have a lot of
very
bugs there.
that's an interesting city name. I like
Yeah,
that.
it is.
That's really cool.
We got a Wichita one in there.
Nice.
Nice.
We appreciate everybody hanging out.
Yeah.
If you want to share the show, go ahead. That'd be awesome. We would love when you share Ricky's flyers. We are going live to Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, which will land right on the Kansas Missing and Unsolved Twitter page. So we are live on Twitter as of right now. Sound out in the comments. Let us know you're here. We love everybody being here.
Yep.
This
Valley
is great.
Lacine. And hello, Dina. Oh my. Here we go. Dallas. All right.
Is that what you said? There was like all the traffic accidents.
Dallas Fort Worth. They had that 100 plus vehicle accident. I mean, it was just. I've seen video clips from it and aftermath and during it, and it's just crazy. I couldn't believe it. My thoughts and prayers go out to all the families involved in that and all the people involved in that.
Albuquerque, Greenville, Texas, another Wichita.
Yeah.
Any more news on Kenny?
Not a word.
It is Galesburg. She did spell it wrong. She said.
Oh, it is Galesburg. Okay.
Anthony, Kansas, Wichita,
Kansas. On Kenny, I wish I could find something out on Kenny. It's just been too quiet.
That is one of. I think Kenny was one of the very first cases I covered with Ricky. Yeah. And that is one that we want to solve. Well, not solve, but that is one we want to find some answers to really badly. A lot of people worried about that guy.
Yeah. Yep. That's for sure.
And I know that one's probably one of the most personal ones to Ricky, because Ricky, you saw the guy all the time playing pinball and all that kind of stuff, and he was sort of every town has a guy that just kind of hangs out, and he's at the store, it sounds like Kenny was that guy, just kind of hung out around town, Augusta, Overland Park, Harper, Kansas, awesome.
Oh, right.
Loving it, everybody. We are loving it.
This is great.
Have you all done Dolly Madison homicide in Great Bend, Kansas? What do you know about that, Ricky?
That was a couple. Yeah, I don't know if we've covered it on the show yet or not, but I do have flyers up for it on the Kansas Missing and an Unsolved Homicide page. I cannot talk tonight.
If I can find it.
But I do have flyers up for them. We can sure look at getting that one on the next show. That's for sure. But it was a couple ladies that were murdered in a Dolly Madison store, and there was a composite released of the person seen leaving around the time they were murdered, and it's still unsolved. So, yeah, we will definitely get it covered.
Yeah, I think you have mentioned this one to me before. I don't know if we've covered it. But this was one where there was just not a lot of information, right? Like it was just kind of random out of nowhere that happened, and it was just kind of whoever did it came and went.
Wow. Great Bend, Rose Hill, and I'm assuming she's referring to Kenny.
Yeah, he looks like Kenny looks a little ornery, if I'm honest, Ricky. It looks like you might joke around and cut up with you. Yeah. What about this? Sarah says, I want to know what happened to baby Lisa Irwin.
Yeah.
You know anything about that?
Yeah, I've got a flyer up for her too. I can't remember if I've done a recent update on hers or not, but she went missing from her crib in her room in her house, and Mom had talked about the fact that she had been drinking before she disappeared, and the dad, I think, was at work at the time, I believe. And there's a lot to go over on that one. So
looks like there's been covered in media a lot. Headline Series did a real life nightmare episode called "Vanished from the Crib," and her case was on the Vanished podcast, which is a pretty popular podcast.
Yeah.
And then they said that a girl in a Romani camp in Greece was thought to be her in 2013, and the Greece, the authorities over there determined that it was not her.
Right. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Let's bring Megan Fogelsong home, boy. We would sure like to.
It says here that in 2012, Deborah Bradley and Jeremy Irwin reported that their debit card had been fraudulently used on a website that provides false birth certificates. At Today's Show and America Live both confirmed that the website existed. Their attorney also confirmed that he visited the website. Police have said they are continuing their investigation if they believe Irwin may still be alive. That's weird. Yeah, we'll definitely look into that some more. That looks like that's been a pretty notable nationwide case.
Yeah, it was. It's been covered by a lot of YouTubers and stuff like that.
Yeah, we are going to be having our good friend from Missing in Kansas, Megan's voice, Ashley Duff's going to be on soon. We just got to get a schedule. She's pretty much not available on the nights that we're available, so we got to figure that out. But she's our resident Megan Fogelsong expert. She pretty much follows that case, and she keeps us up to date on what new is going on there and stuff. Right. What about this? Did you guys cover one in 2009? Dave Cook missing near Amsterdam, Missouri.
I don't think I did. I'll have to research that one and see. And then she elaborated on that and said 2009 between Lacine, Kansas and Amsterdam, Missouri. So I'm going to have to do some checking on that one. Sorry, I'm losing a hearing aid here.
They do have a website, finddavidcook.com.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get a picture of him real quick. I can read this little.
Yeah.
I can read this little information about him right here that I found, and Ricky can definitely get to work on.
And I may have already done a flyer, and just for not clicking the name with the face right away too. I've done so many flyers.
That is true. There very well could be a flyer. I do got a picture real quick I can put up here. 1 second. It says here, David, tending to cattle and bison, blah, blah, blah. For David Cook, 56 of Amsterdam, Missouri, November 19th, 2008 was no different from any other day. As a full-time cattle rancher, David spent the early morning hours working on an 8,000-acre cattle ranch, managing land and monitoring nearly 1,000 head of cattle. The labor-intensive job kept him busy day in and day out all year round. Despite working a grueling full-time job, David spent his afternoons and evenings working for the Kansas City Power and Light Plant. On November 18th, David left work at the power plant around 10:30 p.m., and it would be the last reliable sighting of David, police say, before his mysterious disappearance. The next morning, cops believe that David woke up and began his day. According to Missouri Highway Patrol Division of Drug and Crime Control, David met with an employee around 7 a.m. The ranch hand, who police are not considered a completely reliable source, told detectives that he and David checked a herd of cattle just a few miles from David's home. After attending to the cattle, David supposedly drove home on a four-wheeler. Later that day, on November 19th, David missed a meeting that was scheduled for several of his business partners. Equally unsettling, David did not show for work at the plant either. Family and friends thought this was extremely out of character for David, and they immediately were concerned. A search ensued the very next day, November 20th. When David didn't appear, his family reported him missing. According to police, David's house was in disarray and his billfold untouched. David's sister Julie says it is as if he just vanished. Authorities and family alike suspect the worst, that foul play must be involved. Wow.
Yeah, that one I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, I don't. It blows my mind how there's just so many cases. Like we don't even, there's so many cases we don't even.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky will definitely, get something for that going.
Okay.
That's a very interesting case.
Filed in Missouri, not Kansas. Okay, I was curious. Yeah. I was just looking on KBI's website to see if he had a listing there, but.
And it's finddavidcook.com is where I got all of that information. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me see if we have any more comments before we get on to some cases tonight.
Okay.
Even with cameras right across the street at the bank, nothing was ever found. I believe there was a guy from a composite come in and actually talk, but never heard anyone. And I'm guessing that is the one over it with the two ladies.
Yeah, I'm believing that's what that is referring to as Dolly Madison murders. Yeah.
Dana Hupfer unsolved murder. We will be covering that next Tuesday.
Yeah.
With a new friend of ours who's been giving us a lot of information right here, Kelsey Youngblood. She will be on with us next Tuesday, and we will be covering that case in depth. She's pretty versed on it, way more than Ricky and I. So we look forward to having her on next week and filling us in on that. And then she's also, she's pretty involved in a lot of other cases. So it's going to be really cool to have her on and just sort of pick her brain and see what she's up to. I want to thank you guys for helping me find my son. You guys are amazing. Well,
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
We just talked about it. Really, you got to thank all these people that are watching and share those flyers. Like that is the power that is Kansas Missing and Unsolved, is the fact that all these people share these flyers.
Yeah.
That's just. Otherwise, it's just one guy making flyers and one guy making a podcast. Like we don't do a whole lot. We just people come to Ricky and tell him somebody's missing, and Ricky makes a flyer, and then he puts it on the Facebook page, and I put it out as a podcast, and you guys do the rest. That's 100% fact. You guys really do all the work. Anything on the missing baby Vincent from Wichita?
What was that one again?
Missing baby Vincent from Wichita?
Oh, Vincent Moore. I haven't heard anything on Vincent for a long time. We did cover his case. I updated his flyer, and we went over his case again a few weeks ago, I think it was. But I haven't heard anything new on that. No, it's been a pretty quiet case too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get something found out about him, because that's a very troubling case.
What do you know about him? And I do have something we can put on the screen here. Just that it looks like it's from KWCH, so I feel like they wouldn't get upset. What do you know about it personally? Yeah, because I've never heard about this one actually.
Well, they were saying that he was last seen with his biological dad, and his dad had I think taken him to Texas to see family or something, and he hadn't been seen since. I've heard there's been conflicting reports on that supposedly what I had heard, one of the last things I was messaged and told was by someone that said they actually had seen Vincent's mother very angrily remove him from the dad's car.
So that was so
I don't know if that's accurate or not. That's just something I was messaged and told. I don't know if it was ever confirmed or checked out or not.
Ricky, I don't get it. Like I don't get these situations where it's like, hey, where's your kid? It's like, oh, I saw him like 2 weeks ago. I took him to Texas. I don't really know what happened. Like, what? Like, if I don't know where my kid is for like 10 minutes, I freak out. Like, I don't see how like when these people, like when people ask somebody like, where's this kid? And nobody that's responsible for the kid's just like, I don't know. Like, I just don't get that, Ricky.
I don't either.
I mean, you would never do that, and you adopted your children. Like you're still just like I would be worried immediately if my children I didn't know where they are.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I mean, I had that situation with my older daughter about a month and a half ago. She decided to go sneak out in the middle of the night, and her mom woke up at 6 that morning and discovered she was missing. It got a hold of me, and we got a hold of the police and got the report going, and after the report was filed, we went out and I started looking. I started messaging people and driving around, and a couple hours later, we finally tracked her down. Sorry about my phone. But yeah, a couple hours later, we got her tracked down. So,
Michael Perry says he's friends with Trent Beatty that went missing. Have we covered that?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We will look into that, Michael. Thank you for...
I'm making notes as we go along here.
Sorry to hear about your friend, by the way. Hopefully we can help locate him. We'd love to do that. Let me see.
Flyer form is just like I say, I've done so many, I can't remember every name that I've done. And I apologize. I do. I try to remember them as best as I can.
Wilma says there's a 5-mile stretch between the power plant and David's home in Missouri. That's Kansas. Power plant's in Kansas, home's in Missouri. I believe some of the land he farmed is in Kansas. Okay. Well, hey, I mean, you share a side of our state, we're going to cover it, and he worked in Kansas, and like that's pretty odd, and obviously it's when you have like it says like the farmhand they interviewed who wasn't very reliable, you're like, oh, okay, stop there. Well, the last person that saw him alive Oh, awesome! That's awesome. He's been
Yeah,
found.
that's awesome. He's found. Great. That's great to hear, Michael.
But the last person that sees this person alive, when they talk about how they talk to him, they have to put in parentheses like he wasn't very reliable. Like, let's talk to that guy first.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like being a cop's so easy, but I think it's harder than that. But I'm just like, I think he did it. Obviously, they're like, well, we have to have this thing called proof, Mr. Relaford. I'm like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
he's being sketchy, and we're missing this guy. He's the last person that saw him, and he's being sketchy. Put him in jail. If it was only that easy, Ricky. But yeah, we have a lot of ground to cover. Thanks everybody for coming out, right away and telling us where you're from and everything. We love hearing from you. But let's get into some cases. We got quite a caseload to go through tonight.
Yeah.
Ricky, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Alexander Perez?
Okay. We have covered him in the past, but I did make some updates to his flyer. I got some new information on him, and of course, he's missing from Ulysses, Kansas since December 1st of 2020. He's 35, 5'11" tall. He weighs 235 pounds, and he has black hair, but he does shave it bald. And he has brown eyes, and I'm muting my phone. Alexander contacted a family member via telephone on December 1st and advised he would be coming to their home to wash clothing items. Alexander never arrived at the family member's home in Ulysses. Alexander has not been heard from or seen by family or friends since that date. Alexander had been staying with family and friends prior to his disappearance. It is believed that he may still be in the local Ulysses area, or that he may be in the Garden City, Kansas, or surrounding area. He does have a tattoo of a bumblebee on his face underneath his left eye. He also has Perez tattooed on one of his arms. And you can see, I added the photo on the far right there, the one that's black and white. It kind of shows that tattoo better over underneath his left eye there. But if you have any information regarding his disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please contact the Grant County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 620-356-3500, or the Ulysses, Kansas Police Department at 620-356-4600, or the KBI at 785-296-4017. So basically the information that I added was the information regarding that he was going to go to a family member's to do his laundry, and he didn't arrive there, and that he had been staying with family and friends prior to that was the new information that I added in addition to the photo on the far right there. But hopefully
it's been too long. When we first shared his flyer, I was like, oh, we'll find this guy quick. But it's been a while now.
Yeah, it has.
Because we shared it pretty quickly after he went missing.
Yeah, we did. Yep, I heard from a relative of his today, and they were letting me know that they got a nameless profile up for him and things like that.
I mean, you see missing in like Wichita, that's one thing, but you see missing in a town the size of Ulysses, you're like, well, that's bad because if nobody sees him there,
right?
Like everybody knows everybody in those little towns. It's like if you're just hiding, if that's the case, somebody's gonna find you pretty quick. But if nobody's seen you in Ulysses since December 1st, a little scary, especially since it's like 2021. The guy's got social media. He has a smartphone. He has people he was texting every day. If they haven't heard from him since then, like people don't just stop communicating with everybody they know.
Right. Elizabeth Stieg is saying it's sad to think all these things happen not too far from home, like a murder just happened in Parsons, Kansas today. Wow. I hadn't heard about that yet. I had not heard about that yet. I have to research that and see what's going on with that.
Yeah, I looked it up here. I have a here it says early Thursday morning at 1:06 a.m. gunshots were reported at Mendota Creek Apartments, 1500 South 25th. Upon arrival, Parsons police discovered a man who had suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the chest. The victim has been identified. Let me make sure I have the right picture of this guy. I don't think that's him. That's somebody else, I believe. I don't have his picture, but it says, I have the picture. I think I have the picture of the suspect, but it says, the victim identified as Levi Kendrick, 22-year-old black male of Parsons. Kendrick was pronounced dead at the scene. Callers and witnesses identified the suspect as Malcolm Odom, 29-year-old black male of Parsons. Odom was reported as fleeing the scene. This is Odom. Fleeing the scene northbound on foot, but he was not found by law enforcement. Odom was released from prison on parole and has a felony warrant for his arrest issued by Kansas Department of Corrections. Police are continuing to search for the suspect, gathering evidence. We are partnering with Labette County Sheriff's Department during the investigation. Odom should be, listen to this, folks. Odom should be considered armed and dangerous. If you see him, call 911 and report his location. Do not approach this man.
Yeah.
You are not John Wick. Do not approach this man. Call the police. It says this is a terrible loss of life, and it will hurt the family of the victim as well as the community. Any loss of life is regrettable, and the family and loved ones of the victim are in our thoughts. The outpouring of information in this case will surely bring a positive conviction and conclusion for this case. Please continue to let officers know if you have any information that could lead to the arrest of Odom. This ongoing investigation is part of the See It, Hear It, Report It campaign by Parsons Police. If anyone has any further information on this incident or any other criminal activity, please contact the Parsons Police Department at 620-421-7061. I'm sorry, 7060, or call the tip line at 620-421-7057, or email them at tips@parsonspd.com.
Uh-huh.
This guy looks like a jerk, man.
Wow. Wow.
Anybody seen him? Oh, he was found around 7-something tonight. Okay.
Good.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that he's been found, and let's get some questions being asked of him for sure. Ricky, tell us about Andrew Graves.
All right. Andrew Graves, actually I've done one for him in the past, but alas, he went missing again on September 20th of 2020. He was 16 when he went missing. He is 17 now. He is 5'9" tall. He weighs 165. He has brown hair and brown eyes. He was last seen in the area of Central and Hillside in Wichita. If you have any information regarding Andrew's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get him back to a nice, safe, warm place.
That's a long time to be missing.
Yeah, since September. That is a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully like I said, we can get him found and back to a warm, safe place where he can, get things taken care of and that he needs to get taken care of. And,
Wichita needs like a safe place for runaways, just a place where runaways can run and get some food, talk to somebody they could trust. I don't know. It just seems like Wichita has so many people missing.
Yeah,
any city does, but it just seems like we do this show and it's just Wichita. We have two brothers on. Tell us about Arian first.
Okay. Arian Orpin is missing from Topeka, Kansas. Been missing since February 8th of this year. He's 15 years old. He is 5'6" to 5'7" tall. He weighs between 140 and 145 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. It is believed that he is in the North Topeka area. If you have any information regarding Arian's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get him found and back to where he needs to be.
Is he considered to be with Jarrett?
I was not told conclusively that, but I would assume since they're both believed to be in the North Topeka area that more than likely they are.
We'll go ahead and just cover him right now, and then we'll go back and forth between the photos for a little bit and talk a little bit. But this is his brother Ricky's going to tell us about.
Yeah, Jarrett Orpin. And actually both brothers I've done flyers for in the past as well. Jarrett Mickey Hunter Orpin, he went missing on the same day, February 8th, 2021. He's 17 years old, 5'8" tall. He weighs between 160 and 220 pounds. He has light brown hair and brown eyes, and like Arian, he's believed to be in the North Topeka area. And if you have any information regarding Jarrett's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 368-9247 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get him found and back to a safe place.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did notice that Jarrett did actually comment on his flyer too.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he said he was at a particular apartment complex there in Topeka, and hopefully he is there, and hopefully they can find him.
You know, he's 17.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, but you know, your little brother is pretty young, man. Like,
and they have an older brother too that I'm assuming that he's over 18 now. So, but I'd done flyers for him before too, so I've done flyers for all three brothers.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it makes you think there's not there's not going on at home that they want to be there for, but at the same time, we got to have like a better way to handle this stuff. You know, I mean, obviously these guys don't like it there.
Yeah.
But you know, just taking off where nobody knows where you are is just not working. It's not a good idea.
Right. But let's hope we can get them both found and back to where they need to be.
And another thing too is that these people got to be careful. I'm sitting here looking it up, and it's really hard to find because it's not very black and white. But if you're out here watching this, and you got one of these kids that we're featuring on this show in your house, like, Google harboring a runaway in Kansas and see just look at how expensive that's going to be in the court system.
Yeah.
Harboring a runaway. And if you know, they could always do this too, Ricky. If you don't realize this either, you have a runaway in your house and you're harboring them, and you move them somewhere, they could take you down for human trafficking, even though you're not really doing that.
Really?
In your head, you might be. That's what I'm reading here. Even though in your head you think you're helping something, like you're moving a minor around. You don't want anything to do with that. If you have somebody that is missing, and you need to call the authorities. Because you know, once if the authorities find out that you have somebody in your house that, you know, is a minor and they are considered missing by their parents, like, you're in trouble. Like, it's not just like, oh, here they are, see you later. No, you're at this point, you are harboring a minor, and there is legal ramifications for something like that. So it's just something to think about.
Yeah, it is a great point.
And I'm not now. That's also not saying if you have a runaway at your house, don't throw them in the street. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying, like, there's legal ramifications for everything that you do. Everything you do every day is a choice, and with choices there are consequences. And if you know, I'm just letting you know that having somebody who's considered missing and a minor hanging out in your house, and you think, you know, you're not doing anything besides breaking the law. Like, that's all that's happening there.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people don't stop to think about that.
No. I'm not even going to try to say her first name. Why don't you tell us about Mrs. Miller?
I'm assuming it's just pronounced Andrea, just spelled differently. Let's see here. Andrea is missing from Topeka, Kansas as well. Been missing since January 29th of 2021. She's 16 years old. She is 5'2" to 5'6" inches tall. She weighs between 180 and 200 pounds. She has blonde or strawberry hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen in the 2800 block of Southeast Colorado Avenue in Topeka. If you have any information regarding Andrea's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get her found back to where she needs to be.
And we have the 3 separate pictures here, so you can see.
Yeah.
She that's the one on the left. That's how she looks when she's sort of chilling around the house, sort of maybe less makeup, less wanting less attention. You know how like anybody that has a sister or been married, you know, women have like a way that they look around the people they're comfortable with, and then they'll do is like they'll look a certain way when they go out and stuff. So on the left, it looks like that's what she might look like when she's just hanging out around the house. In the middle there, that would be when she's more done up, going out, like, maybe somewhere nice. And then on the right there, again, that looks like maybe just hanging out and stuff. So again, we always get these pictures, and a lot of times it's with the girls too. It does look like three separate people, but that's a good thing. Look at all three pictures, and you could be right. We're looking for all three of these people. Just depends on how she feels that day.
Yeah, thank you for Denise. Let me know I pronounced it correctly. I was pretty sure it was Andrea. It's a pretty unique way to spell it. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I like that. But yep, let's see if we can't get her found and back to where she needs to be.
For sure.
Yeah.
So this next flyer has a car on it. Tell us about Drew Temple.
Alrighty, that was actually one that was, if I'm not mistaken, was brought up to us in our last show, I believe. He's missing from Kansas City, Missouri. He's been missing since November of 2020. He's 31 years old. He is 5 foot 10 inches tall. He weighs 210 pounds. He has black hair and brown eyes. He was last seen near East 17th and Oak Streets in Kansas City. He drives a gray four-door Toyota Camry, which I believe hasn't been located yet either. He does have tattoos on his arms and his hands. I don't have descriptions at this time. If you have any information regarding Drew's disappearance, or you know of his whereabouts, or you see his car, please call the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department Missing Persons Section at 816-234-5136. Let's see if we can't get him found. He's been missing for quite some time too.
I see some not finding a person. Like, as morbid as it sounds, like, it's not. We've learned that it's not terribly hard to hide a person. Granted, it's hard to keep them hidden forever, but we've found that it's not hard to hide a person. But it always blows my mind when we're missing a car.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get rid of a car?
Aside from dumping it in a river or a lake, I don't know, or a chop shop, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, that always is very alarming to me when not only the person is missing, but the car is missing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you say, it's one thing to hide a person, but a vehicle is a whole nother ball game. It's much, much bigger.
Yeah. So if anybody's saying anything, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
Somebody just sent me a Facebook link. They want us to cover. Let me see if I can share this to you. Let me do it right now.
Okay.
We can cover it later. Let's not try not to do it right now, but
yeah.
How do I just send it a message? I'll just share it to my homepage. So it'll be shared to my page. So basically, it's the Facebook page is. I'll actually just share it real quick. That'll work just as good. So it's Find Maya Malay. Okay. Says here, today and every day until Maya is home safe with us, especially to her three beautiful children, we ask that you say a prayer at 5:01 p.m. for her birthday, May 1st. Oh, so this was updated on May 1st. Let me see. It says she graduated summa cum laude at Radford High School in 1999. She worked closely with Mr. Wilson, Mr. Fukuda, and Miss Yoshida. She was a member of ASEAN, National Honor Society, and to Interact Club, Filipino Club, among others. May work behind the scenes at school assemblies, dances, after-school programs, and various extracurricular activities. What does this say? She was last seen on January 7th, 2021 in her home. The nature of her disappearance is unclear. Multiple searches and rallies have been conducted in hopes of finding her, but so far all efforts have been unsuccessful. Law enforcement currently has no leads to her whereabouts, nor do they have any suspects, person of interest. May's family and friends and community have been devastated by May's disappearance. So let me get a picture of her up real quick. So yeah, Ricky's going to write this down, and this is something that was just sent to me in a private message. I guess she's a mother of three out of Hawaii that has been missing tragically. So we will definitely thank you for sending that in, Jesse. Really appreciate that, and we will definitely look into covering that.
Yeah, I'll look into getting a flyer made as soon as we get the show done tonight. I'm assuming that Rose must have tagged him, is what I'm guessing.
Oh, okay.
That's my assumption.
Okay. Yeah, they said take the car to the junkyard. That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very true. Even then, I just feel like if you're hiding a car, you have to involve at least a couple other people, and that's always
Right.
kaputs on getting away with murder involving anybody.
Yeah.
You just can't tell anybody. It's like so. It's like it always blows my mind when somebody, if somebody's missing and their car is missing. No problem, Jesse. Thanks for pointing that out, man. We will make a. I think Ricky will probably do something with that. I saw him writing really quickly when I pulled her screen up, so I think his wheels are working up there. I appreciate you sending that over. Tell us about Emily, Ricky.
Okay. And actually, Emily, I don't know that I've done a flyer for her before, but I know she was involved in a situation about 2 years ago or so where both of her sisters were missing and they were found in the basement of a man's house. So,
What?
and that was back in, I think, when she was 15, I believe.
Were they okay?
Yeah, they were found safe and everything. But if you Google her name, it'll pop up articles about it.
So what up with that, Ricky? You want to tell us a little bit about that before we talk about Emily?
Well, like I said, I don't remember too much about it without researching it more again, but I remember it was her and her two sisters ran from a foster home. And like I said, they were found in the basement of a man's house. He was actually living with his mother, I believe, and there were three girls down in the basement. And like I said, they were found safe, thankfully. I don't know if he had harmed him in any way or not. I don't recall ever seeing anything about that, but in this situation is a different situation apparently here because that was in Kansas City. This time she's missing from Wichita.
Yeah.
Been missing since October 13th, 2019. She was 17 when she went missing. She's 19 now. 5 foot tall, 160 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. I did check out her Facebook page where that photo came from. It's the photo KBI has on their missing persons website on her listing as well. And she hasn't been active on that profile for a couple of years since around the time she went missing. So it's a little concerning. If anybody has any information regarding Emily's disappearance or her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get her located. It's been about a little over a year and a half. Well, getting close to a year and a half. So
that's scary, man.
I'd like to get her found, make sure she's safe. Make sure she's not in a bad situation.
It just makes me sad, like her and her sisters ran from a foster care situation. So I don't know. I don't know Emily, man, but I'm assuming she's had a little bit tougher life than most folks have,
Yeah. But so hopefully we can get her found and make sure she's all right and make sure she's not in a bad situation somewhere.
You gotta love your kids, people.
Yeah. Yeah. Because she's an adult now, but they still want to find her and make sure she's okay and that she's not being harmed in any way.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Emily, wherever if you're out there and you're okay,
yeah,
just message Ricky. You're an adult. You don't have to just message Ricky.
Yeah, reach out and let us know you're all right. And
let Ricky know you're okay. If you need help, message Ricky also. You can also call the police, but if for any reason you don't trust that, call Ricky, message Ricky. He'll help you out.
Yeah, I'll do what I can.
I just want to let you know that it gets better.
Yeah.
Now you're living on your terms. You're an adult. You get to do things your way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that can either be the scariest thing you've ever heard of or the most liberating thing you've ever heard in your life. Right. So I just want to say that I think you're a very strong person, just on the few stories I've heard about you tonight. And I think that you have a bright future ahead of you. First things first, let's let people know you're okay, though. And yeah, that's I just want to. My heart's out to you, and I know you haven't had it easy, but let's let somebody know you're okay.
Yeah. Connie, the girl was found deceased in her vehicle. Apparently, she was the victim of a homicide as well. They do have an arrest made in the case of a 22-year-old guy. I can't remember his name, but apparently he does have connections with the boyfriend. So have to keep my eyes open on that and see what happens from there. But I do know they have him arrested and in custody. So prayers go out to both families in that situation because that's a tragic deal. I just can't imagine, what a 17 and 19-year-old done that was so wrong that it cost them their lives. I just can't imagine that.
Senseless, man.
Yeah. Yeah, we hope Emily is safe as well.
Tell us about Gail.
I can't remember if we've covered him before or not, but I did make some big updates on his flyer. I ran across some more information on his case. He's missing from Peabody, Kansas. He's been missing since August 17th of 2015. He was 56 when he went missing. He would be 62 now. He's 5'7". He weighs 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. Gail, he goes by his middle name Ralph, was last seen at the Peabody Health and Rehabilitation Facility where he lived in Peabody. He apparently climbed the tall wooden fence surrounding the patio and left the property shortly before 10:30 p.m. Someone saw him leave and told the staff, who called the police a few minutes later. He is mute but not deaf. He communicates using sign language and writing notes. He developed severe schizophrenia when he was in a high voltage electrocution accident in 1980, and he was left partially paralyzed from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in 1983. He needs medication, which he doesn't have with him. Without it, he may become disoriented and frightened. He has scars on the back of his legs from skin grafting and a scar on the top of his head. His right hand and arm are paralyzed, and as a result, his right fingers curl inward, and it makes it hard for him to straighten them. He does drool, and he may hold a rag to his mouth to catch it. He was 56 when he went missing. He'd be 62 now. He's 5'7", weighs 140 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding his disappearance or of his whereabouts, please call the Peabody, Kansas Police Department at 620-983-2133 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Yeah, hopefully we can help get him found. That's been about 4.5 years. So,
Ricky, that town has 1,000 people in it. How are they going to miss? How is he missing? Like, how do they not find a guy in a town of 1,000 people?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Where's he going to go?
I don't know. And he's so
I mean, if you can't find him in the city, you're gonna find him walking one of the highways. I mean, unless the guy just walked aimlessly out in the middle. I mean, that to me it seems a little sketchy. The whole story. The whole story seems sketchy to me. It's like, oh, he jumped a fence. We've never seen him again. It's like,
yeah, it seems a little weird that he said he's partially paralyzed from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but yet he climbed a tall fence.
Yeah.
And all that information is new to me. I hadn't heard that until I ran across, and I was like, oh, really? Okay. And apparently, from what I saw, he was apparently wearing black shorts and a black jacket when he went missing. So, hopefully we can help get him found, or at least in the right direction to find out what may have happened to him.
Yeah, that's just real sketchy to me, man. Like, the town's tiny. I just don't see where he could have got off to.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Kelsey, it is a sad story, and it is very weird. And it's just, like I said, I mean, if he's partially paralyzed, how's he going to climb a fence? Especially if his one hand curls inward. I mean,
I get somebody getting away from a facility in Wichita and then getting lost in that. But I mean, I'm from a town with more people than 1,000 people, and it's just you don't go missing in those towns unless something weird happens, unless something's foul. Like, you just don't go missing. You might try to hide for a day or two, but somebody's gonna see you when you need to go get a soda pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, 1,000 people in this town. That whole thing is sketchy to me, and yeah, thanks for bringing my attention to that. Because I don't know, man. Like, especially when you're in, like, it sounds like he lived in like some kind of facility where he was getting services.
Yeah. One reporter read said that he was seen walking around town. So I don't know.
Who knows, man? But yeah, anytime somebody who's getting services goes missing, I mean, that's, that's just, I don't know, man. That's really sketchy to me. Really sketchy.
Hopefully we can help get him found.
Yeah.
he needs to be. It's been 4.5 years.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost reminiscent of Kenny's case in a way.
Yeah. It's time to get the ball moving
too.
Yeah. Tell us about Haley.
Okie dokie. Haley Cox. I gotta find her flyer. Give me just 2 seconds here. Where is it? I know I pulled
that one.
I'm looking. I'm gonna have to dig it up. I don't see it. Let me grab it. Hold on. Give me 2 shakes. I could have swore I pulled it, but I guess I didn't.
Oh, Ricky.
It's one of them days. All right. Haley Cox is missing from Newton, Kansas. She's been missing since February 9th of this year. She's 14 years old, 5'2" to 5'4". She weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. Her natural hair color is dirty blonde, but it's dyed purple and pink in the front and black in the back, and she has hazel eyes. It's believed she may still be in the local Newton area, or that she may try to get to the Great Bend, Kansas area. She has her dog Zion, which is a Texas Heeler and Shepherd mix with her. And there's actually a photo of her dog at the bottom of the flyer there. Again, she's 14. She's 5'2" to 5'4" and weighs between 130 and 140 pounds. She has naturally dirty blonde hair that's dyed purple and pink in the front and black in the back, and hazel eyes. You can kind of see the dye job in the left and right photos. And if you have any information regarding her disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Newton, Kansas Police Department at 316-284-6030 or the Harvey County, Kansas Communications Center at 316-283-4190 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. Her flyer was a little challenging to make because, I mean, every photo I found for her filters. And it makes it very difficult. But I had to use the left and the right ones because it shows her most recent hair color job. And the middle one is about the clearest I could get of her face. So, I mean, it was challenging.
They need to pass some kind of law that if you're a minor and you're using any kind of thing to have filters, that the app should have to save only in a thing that's subpoenable by police.
Yeah.
But the app should save the actual photo. Because you're right, man. Like if you're a young person in 2021 and you go missing, chances are we don't have a photo that looks anything like you.
Right. And Rose, you're right. That does look like 2 different girls, and it's again because of the filters. The filters do that. And like I said, I had to use those because it shows her most recent hair color job, and the center one was about the best I could get of her face. So, but hopefully we can get her found and get her back to where she needs to be, and she needs to be back home safe.
I just got some bad news.
Do what?
I just got some bad. I got a former caller on my radio show passed away today.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's terrible. Rest in peace, Bear. You were a good guy.
Wow.
That sucks. This is really sad. Yeah, and like we were talking about earlier, with these filters, it's really hard to tell sometimes, what these people actually look like. So if you have kids, snap a picture of them every once in a while. You don't have to post it on Facebook. You don't have to embarrass them. They don't want you to share it, but it makes sense to have a couple pictures of your family members that aren't, filtered. I used to have a stand-up bit about it. I was like, some of these people, if you go missing, we're never going to find you because there's no pictures of what you actually look like online. They're all just filters, So
filters are those little effects where they put stars or hearts or flowers or whatever around their head,
and it makes people look completely different. And then if they go missing, it just makes it impossible to find them based on their photos. Based on strangers trying to help find them, they're looking for somebody different.
Yeah.
Tell us about Heath.
All right. Heath Wayne Pendleton is missing from Kansas City, Kansas. Been missing since January 14th of 2021. He is 34 years old. He's 5'11", 170 pounds, brown hair, hazel eyes. He was last seen in Kansas City, Missouri, and he may possibly be wearing a t-shirt, jeans, and a black jacket. If you have any information regarding Heath's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the Wyandotte County, Kansas Sheriff's Office at 913-573-2861 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And let's see if we can't get him found. He needs to be found.
Was there anything going on with him?
I haven't really heard anything. It was, I believe it was a family member that contacted me regarding Heath, but I haven't heard any updates.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll get some news on him pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do want to mention too, earlier in the week, or sometime last week maybe, I posted an updated copy of the Kansas missing person statute for Kansas. I posted it on the page. If you guys want to check that out, just they haven't really tweaked it too much. It's still pretty much the same verbiage on it. The only real tweak they made that I noticed was where it used to say, it basically states that when any law enforcement agency in Kansas receives a report of a missing person, they have to, without delay, file a report immediately on the missing person and have it entered into NCIC within 2 hours. Well, they've added to that line and said they have to have it entered into NCIC and KBI within 2 hours now. And the only way that they are supposed to be able to refuse a report is if they know where the missing person is or they know another law enforcement agency has a report filed.
Mm-hmm.
Those are really the only two big reasons they say no, because we know where they are, or no, we know this other agency has this report filed. But otherwise, they have to take without delay that report. So
Yeah. Well, at least it's better than it used to be. It's like, oh, I want to report a missing person. Am I missing my kid?
yeah.
Well, how long they're missing? Oh, like 6 hours. That's not long enough. It's like, are you kidding me? My kid is missing. Like, are you kidding? Like, now it's like that Amber Alert. Boom, it goes out to everybody in the area.
Yeah.
Boom, missing this child. Here's a description. Come a long way for sure. I mean, you watch these old crime shows and you see people that they went to the police to report their 6-year-old missing, and they're like, well, we got to give it another day or two. And it's like, what are you talking about, bro?
Even in Kansas, they still try to delay on adults sometimes, saying, well, they're an adult, they can be missing if they want to, which is true. They can, but the report still needs to be filed or taken and filed and entered into NCIC and KBI per the statute. The only big difference between an adult and a juvenile is when the adult is found. If the adult doesn't want their location to be known, all they have to do is tell the person that reported missing that, well, we located them, they're fine, they don't wish to be, their location doesn't wish to be known at this time, but we did verify that they're fine. So we're closing the case. And that's really the only difference between an adult and a juvenile.
To me, for an adult, like the second they miss something that they would never miss, like work or picking their kid up or something, that's when you worry. You're like, okay, they're not where they're supposed to be. You know, like somebody not answering their phone for 6 hours. I've seen that. Somebody's just like, I've ddone that. Yeah. Like 2 weeks ago, you set up a search party because I took a nap.
Yeah. It's on the last show. It's like, where's Derek? Where's Derek? We got a show.
Like I woke up to like 40 people being like, where are you at? I'm like, I'm asleep. I forgot to set my alarm and my phone was in the van. But I mean, yeah, like adults do, you know, shut it off for a while. But, you know, once people start missing stuff and, you know, once family members haven't heard from them or they haven't, you know, come home, like that, you know, you have to take anybody that breaks their routine.
Yeah. I agree with you there, Kelsey. I do. I think they don't, you know, when they're repeaters, especially, because I think they tend to feel like that, well, we find them, they're just going to run again. Mm-hmm. But I still think they need to be taken as important and make sure they do get found and brought back, even though they may run again.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you know, that next time will be the last time that, you know, when they find them and bring them back. I mean, it's just hard to say, but it'd be nice to, you know, I think you're right, though. I do think they need to take them more seriously.
Yeah. That's true, man. Tell us a little bit about Kimberly Ann Cook.
Okay, this one was one that was brought up to us on the last show as well. Kimberly Ann Cook's missing from Leawood, Kansas. She's been missing since January 1st of 2020. She was 54 when she went missing. She would now be 55. She is 5'2". She weighs between 95 and 105 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes. And I had somebody actually comment and ask if the 2020 was correct. That's yes, that she's been missing a little over a year. She does suffer from schizophrenia. She's extremely intelligent and speaks rapidly. There has been no activity on any of her bank accounts. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 54. She's now 55. She's 5'2" tall and weighs between 95 and 105 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes, or hazel eyes, excuse me. If you have any information regarding Kimberly's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Leawood, Kansas Police Department at 913-642-7700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located. Because it's been, looks a little over a year, so let's hopefully we can help get her found. And we won't put that comment up there.
We have somebody being wild.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I said. We won't put that one on screen.
Yeah.
And I realize not everybody may, be thrilled with what we do or whatever, but
I've been podcasting, Ricky, since 2008. I've been live streaming since 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been not caring what people think about me since 18 and a half years old. I don't know. That's fine. Brian, we wish you the best. Thanks for stopping by. Tell us about Mary Capehart Palmer.
Okay, I will do that. I think we might.
This is a long time too. A year.
Yeah.
Well, not a year.
But I've updated some stuff today, and she went missing from Wichita, Kansas on October 8th, 2020. She may actually use the last name Palmer. She has her 4-month-old son, Michael Thomas Jr., with her. At this time, there's no photo information on Michael available. And the latest that I was given was it's believed that Mary and Michael may be in Texas. Mary is 36 years old. She'd now be 37. She's 5'5", weighs between 240 and 250. She has blonde or strawberry hair and blue eyes. And if you have any information regarding Mary's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, or if you know of Michael's whereabouts, please call 911 immediately or call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9456 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get them located, make sure they're okay.
Sorry about that. My alarm is going off. Let me see. Yeah, you can add. You can totally add me on Facebook.
Yeah, you can add me. That's fine.
Says this has had so many problems. Probably need medication that could be harmful to themselves or others. And that's what it is too. A lot of times, when you have I was gonna say missing adults, but really it's missing anybody. A lot of times you have people that are just dealing with some, personal demons, whether it be just like some struggles or maybe a little bit of mental health issues. Not everybody's firing on all cylinders all the time. I'll put this out there. I take medication every day to keep my mental sanity. I've been seeing a doctor for, I don't know, probably 5 years now. I realized something was wrong early on, struggled a lot growing up. And I finally, when I was around 30, I went to a doctor, and it's been about 8 years, I guess. Went to a doctor and, got diagnosed with bipolar disorder and, obsessive compulsive disorder. And I take medications and I manage it. But it's really mind boggling how many of my friends will contact me and be like, you think I need medication? And I love that they reach out to me, but I'm not a doctor. So I kind of tell them well, that's really up to you. But a lot of people do require some either sort of therapeutic talking or some type of chemical, interaction with some type of medication to get through the day and stuff, and so and I think you're right. There's a lot of people out there that just don't have access to good health care, and some of them are struggling and trying to stay afloat, and so a lot of people are dealing with a little bit of mental health issues, and then you put on top of that life and struggling, and and bills and your relationships and all that. And sometimes it just gets a lot for a lot of people, and you have what we call a walkabout. Somebody just goes and takes off for a while. So that is a big thing. And yeah, anybody that's listening, if you feel bad, definitely go talk to somebody. You don't have to live in darkness. Definitely, talk about your feelings and everything, and then normalize feeling good and talking about your feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
You should look into Brian Trester case out of Lyons, Kansas. His case has been unsolved since 2009. Okay, do you have anything on that, Ricky?
No, I don't think I do. I'll have to dig into it and see. I was sitting here trying to think if I've heard of it and whether it's like a missing person or an unsolved homicide type thing. I'm not sure.
Did you delete his comment, Ricky?
No, I didn't.
Somebody did.
Oh, good.
Whoa.
Is he gonna be part of the show or what?
I think that means we're getting close.
Wow.
That's my alarm, though. It's very annoying, Ricky. The dog is very annoying. I have two of them. But if anybody tries to get me in the middle of the night, I'm at least going to be awake for my murder. Because, the dogs are, oh no. But they'll at least alert me that somebody's trying to hurt me.
I'm stacked up beside the desk here. Oh, missing 2009. His remains were found in 2011. Okay.
Oh, remains found in 2011.
Okay.
We don't need your dog joining in on this.
No, he's asleep. He's crashed. And then my younger daughter took my Chihuahua to her house tonight, so I don't have my Chihuahua tonight. She said she'll bring her back sometime Sunday night.
She says that the majority of meds are so dangerous. If you stop without slowly coming off them, not for mental health, prayers that are off. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this. I take, like I said, I take several medications for my mental health, and I ran out, I don't know, maybe 3 nights ago, and it was just laziness. I had a refill, but I just kept forgetting to call the pharmacy, and I went 2 days without taking my pill, and I am just now somewhat feeling like myself again. Like, I wasn't terrible, but yeah, anytime you're taking medication for mental illness or any kind of illness, that stuff slowly builds into your body. You don't take a pill and then it just works. It's like it slowly builds into your system until you have and when you take that away, it really messes with your body's like homeostasis. A lot of people can have seizures if you miss medications. So it's really dangerous to do that. And a lot of people will have, bouts of mania or psychosis when they're like off their meds, or when they, don't take their meds for a long time, or they skip days and then take them and skip. And so, yeah, it's sometimes being sane is a lot of work. But yeah, that can definitely be a big. She says, I'm bipolar 2. I'm glad to hear you got it figured out and getting treatment. The whole medical practice until you get it really makes it hard on some of us. I've seen so many turn into self-medicating on the streets. Yeah, for sure. And I chose not to do that. I didn't go to the bottle. I didn't, go to the streets and looking for stuff. I have found things that are legal that help me, and it really works out. And yeah, so if anybody's out there, just don't be afraid to talk about your feelings. You have them for a reason. The good Lord gave them for you reasons to help you understand life. So just go ahead and talk about your feelings. And let's talk about now. Did we do Matthew Lewis? We didn't do Matthew Lewis, did we?
Not yet.
Let's go ahead and talk about Matthew Lewis. Now, this is an out-of-state one.
Okay. Matthew Lewis, he went missing from Denton, Texas. We're traveling to Texas on this one. Been missing since January 29th, 2021. He's 40 years old, 5'7", 170 pounds. He has blonde hair, and his facial hair is actually strawberry and blue eyes. He was last seen in his job at Mulberry Street Cantina in Denton. He left his cell phone behind at his job. His sister has since retrieved his phone, and his Volkswagen Jetta was left parked at the business lot near Architectural Hall and was towed on February 6th after not being moved. Apparently, Matthew left his keys at the bar, or lost his keys or something, couldn't find them, and so the car was left there, and they eventually towed it. He was last seen wearing clothing similar to the center two pictures, the button-down shirt over another shirt, and he either wears a red ball cap like that, or he has a blue one that he wears. If you have any information regarding Matthew's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call Denton, Texas Police Department at 940-349-8181. And apparently he moved to Denton from Topeka. He's from Topeka originally. So I'm going to put that out there too.
Have they checked around Topeka in case he just like took off to the?
I believe his mom still lives there, and I've been talking to her or somebody close, excuse me, close to her, and I don't know if they have or not.
Do we know anything as far as was he having any issues in his life or money trouble?
My understanding was that when right before he had went missing, he was last seen where he worked at that cantina, but apparently he was arrested there for being intoxicated, I guess. And I guess another report was he was last seen outside the jail after his arrest for that, being arrested for being intoxicated. But nonetheless, he's missing and needs to be found, and they haven't heard anything from him or anything like that at all. So I'd really like to see him get found.
You know, we're seeing talking about mental health. You know, it's the last thing we know about this guy is that he got so intoxicated he was arrested. That could be a form of self-medicating. You know, maybe Matthew needs to talk to somebody. You know, maybe he needs someone to listen right now.
Yeah. Yep, definitely.
There's nothing wrong with you know, they say hate the sin, not the sinner. You know, it's like I'm never gonna get down on somebody that, you know, self-medicates and stuff, but this isn't the way, Matthew. Your way's not working. And you know, this is scary stuff, man. It's been quite a few days since anybody's seen or heard from you. Yeah. You know, the last we did know about you, you know, you're getting into a little bit of trouble. So obviously it looks like I think you need to talk to somebody and you slow down a little bit and just you know, get everything in order. I'm really hoping that you're somewhere where you can hear this or maybe see these flyers that are being shared and see that people do care. People are worried. And yeah, hopefully you make a phone call. And if something, you know, different happened and somebody knows something different about what we're talking about, then you know, Ricky can tell us the numbers here in again a second. But you know, there's people you can call, and a lot of people worried about Matthew Lewis. So who do they call again, Ricky?
That number on there again. Let me grab it here real fast. Here, close that screen. The number is, and it's the Denton, Texas Police Department, 940-349-8181. And apparently he's a fan of the Chiefs and a fan of the Royals because like I said, both hats have Kansas City logos on them. So it should make him pretty easy to spot, I would think, especially in Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
But hopefully he's all right and just chilling somewhere. But let's help get him found.
Yeah. Let's talk about Olivia and Mason.
Okay. Well, we're going to go from Texas to New York now. And this one is Olivia Ryford. I hope I say that right. Dyer Bakerly and Mason Ryford. They're both missing from North Tonawanda, New York. Excuse me. Been missing since February 6th of 2019. Olivia, when she at the time of her disappearance, was 7 years old. She's now 10. She's 4 foot tall, 100 pounds, brown hair and green eyes. At the time of his disappearance, Mason was 16 months. He's now 3 years. He's 2 foot 11 inches tall at the time that he went missing, 30 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. It's believed that they are with their non-custodial mother, Katie Ryford. At the time, Katie is 36 years old, 5 foot 7 inches tall, 175 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. Let's see if there's any other information that I might have overlooked. Olivia does wear glasses, but it's not sure that she wears them all the time. If you have any information regarding Olivia and Mason's disappearance, or you know of their whereabouts or Katie Ryford's whereabouts, please call the Niagara County, New York Sheriff's Office at 716-438-3393 or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-843-5678. And on there I included the Sheriff's Department's case number, the NCMEC case number, and the NamUs profile numbers as well. So it's got all the information on there.
Do you know anything about why Katie wasn't in their life before the abduction?
I have no idea. That I was not given. I've been in communication with the kids' dad, and he's been desperately looking for him for just over a year now. Well, over 2 years now, actually.
And nobody's heard from Katie at all either?
Nope. I haven't seen anything on where they're thought to possibly be or anything like that or anything. But hopefully we can help get them pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, that's scary, man. 3 people.
Yeah.
So is it under the dad's does he think that like it wasn't like these three were out and somebody took them. He thinks that Katie took is the one that made the decision to become missing.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Is what it
Okay.
sounds like to me. I'm wondering if it wasn't a potential divorce custody situation and that kind of thing. I don't know. I don't know details on it.
I just can't imagine somebody taking my kids, man. That's like
Yeah, but I know it's all over. I mean, like I said, they're on National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's website. They're on NamUs's website. So I mean, they're all over.
it's
So
been a long time.
yeah, just over 2 years. Hopefully they're okay.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it is, he's 3 years old now, so he's I'm sure changed somewhat. Obviously in height and weight, but I'm sure his facial features have, you know, refined a little bit and changed a little bit, as well as hers.
And he was 16 months when he was missing, so he really doesn't even know the other side of his family because you don't retain much of that information.
Right. Right.
So he's kind of just still learning stuff and forgetting it every day, and
Yeah.
nothing to do with his family that's worried about him, and so that's just terrible.
Yeah. And like I say, hopefully we can help get them located and get them back to where they need to be.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
We got one more case for you, then we're going to show you our located safe reel for tonight.
Yep. Yep.
And we got a little bit of information for you before we get out of here. It's been a great show so far. Thanks for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's out on Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, which is also Twitter. Thank you very much for tuning in. Ricky, tell us about Steven.
All right, Stephen Wendell Blair's missing, endangered runaway. Went missing from Manhattan, Kansas on January 18th of 2021. He's 16 years old. He's 5'6" to 5'9" tall and weighs between 140 and 150 pounds. He has brown hair and hazel eyes. He has multiple tattoos, including Little Choppy across both hands on his knuckles. He has, and this one I'm not too fond of, Hail Satan 666 on the inside of his right forearm.
Neat.
Yeah, 785 on his right bicep, money over bitches on his left hand with a smiley face. The initials BJH on his left hand, close to his wrist. OTF on the right side of his chest, and loyalty on his left forearm, which is somewhat difficult to read. He was last known to be wearing a black beater-style tank top and blue jeans. If you have any information regarding Stephen's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Riley County, Kansas Police Department at 785-537-2112 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And see if we can't get him found.
Who is this tattoo artist that's telling him this is a good idea?
I don't know. You can kind of see that OTF on his chest on that left-hand picture over there a little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of tattoo artists that won't let people do stuff like that at 16. You want to get something about the devil on your body at 16? Like a responsible tattoo artist would be like, how about your mom's name or something like that?
Yeah. He's got quite a few, Rose.
To me, I never understood that either. Like people that, because I'm not against tattoos. I have 4 or 5 tattoos. I think they're great, as long as you're an adult making a good decision, knowing that knowing that they're permanent. Like a lot of people get tattoos forgetting they're permanent, but it's like I always felt bad for the people that went out and got 100 tattoos before they were 20, and then by the time they got to 35, they weren't quite as the same person as they were when they were 20, and they got all these art choices, and I just see a lot of people covering a lot of work up in their older lives. So I just feel like that's why I only have like 5 and I'm 38. I'm granted, if you like tattoos, you can get them faster than I do, but I've only found 5 things in my life that I was like, that can be on me for forever. I'm okay with that. Like it's just it's like it's forever.
Yeah, I don't have any, but I've contemplated 1 or 2, and then I keep talking myself out of it. So
you need to get a JC tattoo, buddy.
A what?
A Jesus tattoo.
Oh, gotcha. Actually,
I think those are allowed.
The one that I thought about was a cross on my arm, and then I saw it on the back of a T-shirt, and I really liked it. But it was a big cross, and it said, "Loyal to one, God's only Son." And I thought about
that's what I'm saying. You need to get you could pull off like a nice religious tattoo.
Yeah, and then I talked myself out of it because I watched a friend of mine have a dragon down on his arm, and I was like, I don't think so.
Where are you thinking about getting it? And I'll tell you how bad it'll be.
Right here.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's
But-
not good, but it's not bad. Like I've had one on my arm, my leg, and my forearm right here, and one on my wrist. And the wrist one wasn't very fun, but this one, like where like the front part of my arm, that was really painful. Like the closer they got to like the side over here, it just really hurt. But
Right.
it's not bad. Like my wife, she was like 36. She was 36 when she got her first tattoo, and she's got like 4 now.
Yeah.
But she loves it. Like she likes going in there, and she likes the pain. She thinks it's like a fun. I'm just like, you're crazy. Like
Yeah.
I'm still finding out. Can you guys do it without hurting me? They're like, no, we have to stick a needle in you. I'm like, oh, I'd be covered in tattoos if it didn't hurt, Ricky.
Yeah, no, I watched a friend of mine have a dragon done on his arm, and we watched the blood seep through and everything. I was like, I just don't know that I want to do that.
Rose, oh my goodness, Rose. Rose says the sternum was I could, you know what, Rose? Little fun fact about Derek Relford right here. I get it from my father, Louis Trevino. I was born Derek Trevino. Anything touches me right here, I'm like, I hate it. I can't wear a necklace. I don't wear shirts that are tight here. I do not like anything like that feels like it's choking me.
Right.
And I would never let anybody stick a needle on my. I'm getting the heebie-jeebies thinking about it. Like, there's just certain things I wouldn't. And I'm telling you, I would have a lot of tattoos if it didn't hurt. See, Kelsey thinks you should do it, man. I think you. If we did a GoFundMe to get Ricky tatted,
Oh my god. Oh boy.
it's got to be a religious tattoo though, because that's your style, man. That's that. When I think of Ricky, I think of like, you know, good old fashioned Christianity, you know, and a cross would be great for you.
I try, but you know, and I'm not one of those holier than thou ones. I'm one of those kind that being a Christian means I know that I'm a sinner. I know I fail God every day. I know I need him in my life every day to help keep me on the straight and narrow, you know, and I mean, that's just how I look at it. I don't look at it like, you know, one of those holier than thou's look down their nose going, you know, I just don't do that. I don't believe in that because I don't believe I'm any better than anybody else. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I make my mistakes just like everybody else does. And if anybody tries to say they're perfect and don't make mistakes, I think they need to check it in the mirror one more time.
Yeah. Show me somebody that doesn't make mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I make mistakes every day.
Oh yeah, big time. Forever and what they look like when they're 80. That's what I always thought about before. Yeah, and that's true. Like I said, some of them, you know, it's just like you have to make the decision. Do I want this on my body forever? Do I care what it looks like in 50 years? You know, all that stuff. My body couldn't distinguish which side to hurt on. It was so awful. My back actually felt pretty great though. See, some people like find it therapeutic. Like when it's not terribly painful, it's weird. It's like a weird, like it hurts. So you're kind of like sitting there looking at it and you're like, why am I letting this happen? But the further they go, you're just like, that looks sweet. You know, you're just like, I'm gonna go through it because this is awesome. But like it doesn't feel good. If you're not a fan of like any type of pain, don't do it.
What I couldn't do is I couldn't sit there and do a full sleeve or something.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that
after a while though, dude. Honestly, after about 10 minutes, it just kind of goes numb. And you just get used to it. Like, I mean, it never feels good, but yeah, we should have a thing where we should do like a little thing, talk about something at the end of every show. It was fun talking about Tattoo Tuesday. Maybe we'll get Ricky into getting his cross one of these days.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it'll be awesome. While we just think of how cool you'd look, she said.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
it'd be real cool, man. See, now what you really need is a face tattoo.
My mom.
You think your job would be okay with it?
I don't think so. I don't quite get the thinking behind tattoos on the face myself.
Me neither.
Not knocking it or nothing. I just don't understand it.
It's a new thing. Yeah, it's like that's like a new.
Well, like that first case we covered, you know, he's got that B under his left eye, and you know, which I mean, I guess that's somewhat subtle. It's not too, and I mean, you see people with teardrops. You see, you know, little.
The teardrops have been around for a while, but like when the rappers started writing like words on their face and just doing like,
oh yeah,
and I think it looks cool, but I mean, whenever you first see it, you're just like, whoa, bro, like, so you don't want to work anywhere for the rest of your life. But even then, like they said that about like arm tattoos and stuff, and people, the world moves on. The world moves on.
Okay, Kelsey, let me know what you find, please.
We got 22 watching on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We're going to, Ricky, you want to remove that comment real quick? We're going to show you our located safe reel for this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate it. And we're going to do, since the show is ending, those of you who are watching, please let us know where you are watching from.
Yeah.
And that'll be awesome. We will totally love to talk about that. We love seeing how far we go out. You're watching Kansas Missing and Unsolved on Back Home Media.
Yeah, it is about missing. We just kind of got off on a tangent about tattoos. Sorry about that.
One of our missing kids had a lot of tattoos. We didn't actually have any photos of him, but he had a lot of tattoos. So
yeah, the last case we covered, he had quite a few.
We have Junction City in the house tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Fort Scott, Emporia, Kansas. Let's see. Tried looking his name up from the Emporia Gazette newspaper is where you can probably see the most info. I'd say it's a cold case. Lots of rumors to what happened to him. Yeah, that'd be awesome. She said she could create a Facebook. That'd be awesome. Yeah, and that's really where a lot of these crimes keep their heartbeat is on these Facebook groups. That people are, because a lot of times the local news isn't covering them anymore. Lynn County, what up, Katie?
Yeah,
thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah,
Great Bend. Awesome.
Definitely. There's a Wilson. Oh, that's Kelsey. Yep, she's out there in Wilson.
Nice.
Another friend of mine lives out. I consider Kelsey a friend of mine now, but another friend of mine, Chris Hakey, lives out there in Wilson too. So, Chris, if you're watching, hello.
Yeah, this show's really fun. We get to connect with a lot of people. We appreciate everybody watching on all the platforms and sharing. Before we let you go tonight, if you look underneath Ricky there, you're going to see a bunch of platforms. If you look for Kansas Missing and Unsolved, you can find this show on Google Play. You can find it on Apple Podcasts, iTunes. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on iHeartRadio.
Hey,
you can
Mary.
find us on Spreaker.com.
I'm in Salina too, Mary.
We have all 43 episodes. Well, 43 after tonight. We will have all 43 episodes uploaded to our podcast page. You just look us up on any podcast platform. You'll more than likely find us there. And there's 43 episodes of us trying to bring missing and endangered people home. We would love the support of the podcast. If you could give us a listen there, follow, rate us in the stores, like us, do all that fun stuff. We would really appreciate it. If anybody out there is watching and you want to be a part of this team, this is Ricky's baby. I am just the producer of the podcast. If you want to help Ricky out, he does the majority of the work on this thing. He does all the flyers, all the research. I sort of just push buttons and try to talk as best as I can. And so if you want to help Ricky out, he works a full-time job. How long have you been working in this industry?
I've been in retail a total of 25 years.
So he's been going to work for 25 years, 40 hours a week. He pays his bills, he pays all of his stuff, and then when he's not raising his two daughters, he's trying to find missing kids. And if any of you don't know this or not, but Ricky does not get paid to do this. This is something Ricky does out of his free time, out of his boredom, and just because he feels like this was his calling from God to do this for his community. So if you feel like that story touches you and you want to help him out in a little way you possibly can, if you want to buy him a cup of coffee or buy him a cheeseburger every month, you can go to patreon.com/KMUpod, and you can become a sponsor of the show. $1, $2, $3, whatever you want to do, a monthly contribution. Consider it buying Ricky a burger every month, as your contribution. All that stuff really helps. As I said, Ricky does all this at his own time, and all this stuff comes out of Ricky's pocket and stuff. So, patreon.com/KMUpod if anybody wants to help. And then obviously, just showing up, watching, and hitting share is worth $1 million to me and Ricky. So that's really all we super care about.
Those of you that may not know it, I launched Kansas Missing and Unsolved April, I think it was 29th of 2012. So this April will be the 9-year anniversary for Kansas Missing and Unsolved. So
could be the 50th episode. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
We'll have to do the math on that.
Yeah.
Listen, Alicia, I'm not chopped liver. No,
you're welcome, Alicia.
I sit here and look handsome, Alicia. I mean, come on.
And thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate that too. You're awesome too for the work you're doing.
Let me see. Missing person search team. Oh,
you clicked. Say?
Oh, awesome.
Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. Didn't mean to click it off after you clicked it on.
We have two producers in the room, y'all.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, we do want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. It was nice to see people from so many different places tonight. Hopefully we can continue that again this coming Tuesday's show. It'll be really cool. And we're planning on having Kelsey on the show this coming Tuesday also. So looking forward to that. We were going to do it tonight, but she was having some technical difficulties on her end of it, trying to get her computer updated and ready to go. So hopefully Tuesday we'll be able to have her on here. It'll be fun. But we do want to say thank you again to everybody for joining us, and we will see you Tuesday. You guys have a good night. Stay safe. God bless. Take care. Talk to you on Tuesday.
Well, I don't think it, I thought it, that's different. I said what I said and I meant it, or lamented. Words given weight without thought, and a person the way that I talk and the way that I ought to be able to pause and to say that the fault can be placed on my arm, to this playful assault, to disgrace in this arm. Pray for the day they could wait for the calm. You can't control the storm, only weather it, whether it's 5 weeks and 5 days of rain sideways, or scorched earth, search for death or water left with all the thorns, with the petals gone. Settle